Hey wellness crew, hey everyone, welcome to Yoga with Jenna. I'm so excited that you're here. To any mothers that are watching, happy Mother's Day. I hope you have the most wonderful, beautiful day because you totally deserve it. I tried to definitely make everything a little bit more like Mother's Day-y because it is a super important day. So happy Mother's Day. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to begin with a chair flow. We will get to sun salutation shortly. We're just going to, again, everything I do these days is free flow. So it's just what's going to happen is going to happen. So we're going to have our arms nice and straight. Have our feet separated just a little bit. Coming down into that squat. Inhaling as we reach our arms up. And exhaling as we're in that squat. Two more. And this one we're going to hold. We're going to come up onto our toes, coming back down, up on our toes, back down, up on our toes a little bit longer, back down, up on our toes, back down, up on our toes. Hold, hold, hold. Hold, 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 hold. She got a truck. Songs get stuck in my head, I'm sorry. It's Mother's Day, do what I want. Okay, heels back on the floor. I'm just playing around, you guys. Sorry, I'm in a silly mood. From there, let's do the sun salutations. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and reach our arms up. Inhale, exhale into a forward fold. We're going to come up halfway to where our upper body is parallel to our mat or mats, and coming back down. Walking our hands forward into plank. Bringing that right foot forward in between them, coming into a lunge. You can have your arms extended up above you. You can have your arms extended on each side. You can have your hands placed on your right thigh. It does not matter to me. Whatever you feel like in this moment you want to do. Bringing our hands back down to our mats, bringing that right leg back, stepping the left leg forward, coming into that lunge. Bringing our hands down to our mat, bringing that left leg back, coming back into plank, coming into hover. So only the palms of our hands and the balls of our feet should be in contact with our mat. Coming into upward dog. Tucking our toes underneath for downward dog. Stepping one foot forward, we're going to actually start with our left leg this time, coming back into that lunge. Bringing our hands to our mat, bringing that left foot back, stepping that right foot forward in between our hands into that lunge. Bringing our hands down to our mat, bringing that right foot back, coming into plank, coming into hovering, upward dog, tucking our toes underneath for downward dog, stepping one foot forward, the other foot meets it, forward fold, slowly rolling up, vertebrae by vertebrae if possible, and going ahead and inhaling, raising our arms up, swan diving into a forward fold, exhaling, walking our hands forward into a plank, bringing our right knee to our right elbow and our left knee to our left elbow. Now what we're going to do is step our right leg out, lift it up, bring it down, step it back in. Step the left foot out, lift it up, bring it down, bring it back in. From there, we're going to come into hovering. Upward dog. Tucking our toes underneath for downward dog. And bringing our knees to our mat, having them wide if you would like, so you can sit back on your feet into child's pose. From child's pose, we're going to come into a forearm plank. From our forearm plank, we're going to do a flow that aligns with our breath. So from our plank, we're just going to go into dolphin. Okay, and dolphin is very similar to downward dog. It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar. Inhale, exhale. All right, and then from this plank, we're going to come down into cobra. So your chest can be on the mat for this one. Your palms are on the mat, your forearms are on the mat. Your whole body is, but basically the only difference is you are lifting your neck up a little bit. From cobra, coming up into tabletop, we're going to go ahead and do a quick flow of cat-cow. So lifting the crowns of our heads, lifting our butts, and exhaling as we arch our spines and let the crown of our head fall towards our mat. Perfect. All right, let me fix my mat. Okay, there we go. So from here, and I just had it in my head, and now I'm blanking. But that's okay. Oh, now I know. But we'll do it differently. Okay, so I think we've done this, if not in the last session, we did it recently, where we had a straddle standing position. We walked our hands forward, almost into like a wide-legged plank, and then walked our hands back. We're just going to do that a few times. Oh yeah, into a forward fold. There we go. Two more. All right, awesome. So from here, we're going to go ahead, bring our legs a little bit closer, walk out into a plank so we can get into downward dog. Relaxing our neck, not forgetting to breathe. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to step our right foot forward for a lunge, but with a twist, literally. So we're going to have our left hand on the inside of our right foot. We're going to extend our right arm straight above us, or as straight as you can get it. Whatever it looks like, don't worry about it. Asymmetrically, we are all not, like, no one has perfect, well, I won't say no one, but it's rare that anybody has perfect symmetry. So in some of these poses that are asymmetrical, you're going to look different on each side. You're going to begin to kind of notice where you have some inadequacies that you can work on. Also, where you have your strengths. You can pay attention to what muscles get tired faster, which ones stay stronger for longer, and that's the biggest indicator. Simply by self-analysis and being aware of your body. So bringing that right arm down, bringing that right leg back, coming back into downward dog. Stepping our left foot forward. So same thing, we're going to bring our right hand close on the inside of our left foot. We're going to extend that left arm straight above us for a twisting lunge. I learned that aiming for perfection is not really, well, in my opinion, that's not what the goal should be. It's striving for progress, but striving to honestly just be able to be aware, because someone can be watching you, and some people are really good at assessing other people with physical, things for sure. That's something that you learn as a personal trainer. Hopefully, most people do, at least most of them do. However, some of us have different things going on in our bodies. Like I have an autoimmune issue, so that's why in some of my videos, we're going to go back into downward dog. Sometimes I look like I have a lot of inflammation or like I'm more puffy or this or that, when there hasn't been any significant changes to anything that I'm doing, really. What I will say is an into plank. What I will say is that cold showers have been amazing. Hovering, they've really helped with when I get that, like, I think I have a couple videos on it. But when my face is like all messed up, basically, from inflammation and I guess some type of fluid, upward dog. It's helped a lot with that. I've had lower incidences of that. But also with the amount of pain that I experience. And doing yoga for sure helps. But, there isn't like, one thing that will work. It's, if you want to feel better, you have to try different modalities, honestly. And back into child's pose. But becoming aware, even making notes of things that you notice, super helpful. It can be sensations. It can be like if at a certain time of day you seem to have a feeling of being triggered and like there really was no precipitating event. Those types of things are super important for changing the way that our brain and our body work with each other. And it makes it to where there's not so much of a communication barrier that for multiple reasons we've kind of developed and learned over time. Okay, we're going to step that right foot forward. It was plank, sorry. And then stepping that right foot forward. This time, we're going to come into a twisting prayer lunge. But whatever the reasons, they're personal for each and every person, and it's really good to kind of explore them. What I love about yoga is that it's a way to release and let things go. Sometimes doing things that are challenging, sometimes not. But in I would say, if not all, the high majority of my videos, you'll notice that there's always something where we're working with your hips. We're opening up your hips. That's not just to work out, that's to release any stored trauma, because that's a very common place for people to store, trauma, or not even so much trauma, but like also just negative emotions. All right, we're going to bring that right leg back. We're going to bring that left leg forward. Come into prayer hand position and go into twisting prayer lunge. But even other spots, like your neck and shoulders, in some of my meditation videos, what I do is we'll do some like head circles, half circles, focusing on trying to, loosen up and really bring that connection again back to having less of a, disconnect with our mind and our body. Bringing our hands back down, stepping our left foot back, plank, hovering, upward dog, child's pose, coming into a modified plank, coming into modified cobra, upward dog, tucking our toes underneath, downward dog, and really pushing with our palms to really feel it in our back. All right, perfect. Let's step one foot forward. The other one meets it. Forward fold. And slowly rolling up. Okay. So this is I want to drink some water real quick. This next one is a variation of a Pilates move. I found it, I liked it, and I was like, we can incorporate that into yoga. Why not? So we're going to begin with our legs open, almost like we're in stirrups, like when giving birth. So, Mother's Day. Got you. I'm just kidding. All right, so from here, try to flex our feet. We're going to close our legs. Then we're going to come into an open leg position again, but with our legs straight, or straight as we can get them. Close our legs. Then what we're going to do is extend our arms, lift up like for a sit-up or a crunch, and start the process all over again. So, open legs with knees bent, closed, open legs straight, closed, and that straight arm crunch. Slowly coming back down and doing it all over again. I find that my legs keep getting wider as I keep doing it, and I'm like, that's fine. Four more. Two more. Very good. All right. We're going to go ahead and come up into that reverse plank for a hold. Having our fingers facing our feet. And coming back down. All right. Let's get into some balance positions. So we'll start off with our right foot on our left thigh. My eldest was born on Mother's Day, so every few years his birthday aligns with it. So it's always very special to me. All right, now let's go ahead and switch sides. I guess I really should say, did I say ankle or foot? It doesn't matter. All right, awesome. From here, we're going to come into a full eagle. So we're going to wrap our right leg around our left leg. And we're going to bring our left arm underneath our right. And releasing and switching sides. So wrapping that left leg around the right. What am I doing? Other way. Okay, there we go. Bringing the right arm under the left. All right, releasing our arms, releasing our legs, coming into just a few stretches. I know it's Mother's Day and everything, but there's men watching too. So, bragging. We're going to have our right leg in front, our knee bent, our knee about over our ankle. We're going to kickstand our left leg, okay? From there, we're going to come into an angle. So we're going to bring our forearms down to the mat. And we're just going to hold. If at any point this gets too intense for you, if at any point there's any pose that's too intense for you, you can always substitute it with child's pose, with puppy dog, with any other pose that it doesn't even have to be so much an equivalent. but just something that, you feel more comfortable doing. Now, if you're not wanting to do it just because you're having this like sensation of, I just don't want to do this, I'm not into this right now, I would encourage you to push through. If you're in pain, if something is hurting, if there's like a physical discomfort, especially any type of sharp pains, anything like that, then absolutely get out of the pose, whatever the pose is, and go into something else. I always say child's pose simply because it's the safest pose, in my opinion, outside of Shavasana. So, but if it's just your mind telling you that you can't do something, to me, that's a limiting belief. All right, slowly coming up. And stepping our left foot forward with our knee over our ankle, kickstanding our back leg, coming onto our forearms in an angle. But the great thing about developing like an actual mind-body connection is you're able to decipher when you're having what you think is a feeling or thought, where it's actually coming from. Is it coming from your mind, or is it coming from your body? Now, if it's coming from your body, that's one thing. But sometimes our minds will play tricks on us because only 5% of our brain is like the conscious mode, right? The other 95% is subconscious. So we are influenced by so many things that we've experienced with our histories, with our experiences and things like that, and they've shaped us and in some ways have conditioned us. So it's possible to decipher like what's something that's conditioning and what's something that is actually like your body trying to give you like a gut feeling that is saying, hey, like this is too much, or hey, like, listening to those types of things, yes. Listening to your limiting beliefs, I always say try to push past them as best as you can, and you will be so amazed at what you can actually do and what you can actually achieve. All right, slowly getting out of fragging. We're going to go ahead and come into a seated straight leg forward fold. Let's target those hammies for just a little bit and our calves. Remembering to relax our head forward. Slowly coming up. We're going to return to our backs. Almost Shavasana, not quite yet. We're going to, if you can do this, get your palms on your mat. Get your feet on your mat. We're going to come up into a bridge. And slowly coming down. going ahead and extending our feet, having our palms facing up to be in a receiving position from the universe, taking nice deep breaths. Being proud of yourself, being proud of your body. Enjoying these couple of minutes that we have to relax. And coming on to our right or left side, depending on where you're at on your mat. Coming into a seated position. Also wanted to say that you may have noticed that there was a tempo change in some parts of today's practice. All of these things, even though it is free flow, like I do think about what I want to do for each individual session. It's just that there's certain ways that I know physically, right? If we're changing things up, changing tempo up a little bit, what we're doing is we're not fully shocking the body, but we are doing something that's out of the ordinary, that's a little bit different. And rather than do it through, trying to find crazy, insane poses and all of that, what I like to do is just incorporate tempo changes. So there was a flow that we did that was like the modified plank to, I think it was modified cobra to upward dog. And I don't know if we went back to child's pose or if it was downward dog. I did that really quickly just to kind of like get the tempo, just change the energy of the whole thing. And also so that way your body won't get used to things. Because yes, a lot of times there are poses that are repetitiously done. And there's a reason for that too. But I just wanted to let you know that like there's a reason for everything that I do in these videos. And it does come from just, kind of understanding and knowing like we all have different bodies. Some things are going to work for different people. Some people need a lot of like variation and change, but you can do that in a lot of different ways. Tempo is one. So just wanted to acknowledge that real quick. Again, to any mothers watching, happy Mother's Day. I hope you have the wonderful, most best day. I am like, because it is so wonderful to be a mom. It is so wonderful to be, loved by your children, and to have the opportunity to be a parent is such a blessing. And my heart goes out to anybody that that's not a possibility for. this is not a day to be shaming people that, aren't mothers in any capacity. It's simply just, I wanted to, make a point of celebrating motherhood in general, whatever that looks like for you, that's exactly, as it should be. So happy Mother's Day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Sending my love to my wellness crew. Thank you, everybody. Be well, stay wild.